Howdy guys, this is CoreCat13. We are back for Banjo-Kazooie Blind. Well, okay, that's not exactly true. So, something happened between episode 7 and episode 8. For some strange reason, OBS, while I was recording, turned off my microphone. And I didn't realize it until about 30 minutes in, and by that point, I was already well into not deep darkness, good lord. You could tell I've been watching a Earthbound review. I was already well into World 4, so it's not like I could turn back. But that's neither here nor there. I should mention that that's what we're going to be covering, in this episode, is Bubblegloop Swamp. I almost said Deep Darkness again, because it reminds me so much of the Deep Darkness. It's crazy. I should mention I'm also recording in the dining room because, you know, reasons. I'm already here, so yeah. If you happen to hear like a jingling or whatever, that's my cat just kind of wandering around. She does that, but anywho, hoodles with pink poodles, Bubblegloop. I should mention that I really, really fucking love this song. This song is freaking fantastic. It's actually my favorite song in the entire game, aside from the final boss thing. So, anyway. Hello there, Mr. Gator. You're weird, and I don't know how to feel about you. Alrighty. We're gonna trek on forward, collect some music notes, and would you look at that? It's a Jinjo! Well, at least they're not hiding the Jinjo quite as craftily as they did last time. Like, good lord. I can't believe just how long it took me to figure out where those damn Jinjos were in Clinker's Cavern. It's irritating. Well, speaking of irritating, that thing's a timer. And yeah, the time limit on these things, while forgiving in some respects, it's still pretty annoying, and I screw up a few times trying to get back to the starting point. And this is not the only time challenge in this area. There are actually technically 3. There's this one. There's one inside of a alligator-shaped house. And there is another one after a maze. And it's fucking annoying. I don't like it very much. But fortunately, this one's pretty forgiving, because all you have to do is stomp on that thing a second time after falling, and yeah, you can restart. Whereas the other two, you have to leave the area and then climb back in order to restart the mission. With the one after the labyrinth, I know, I see that Jinjo there. The one after the labyrinth, if you fall off, you have to go through the entire damn labyrinth again just to do it. And the one inside of the alligator head is actually a minigame. And if you lose, you have to leave the alligator head and then walk back in order to reset the mission. It's a little dumb, and we will get to see it later in the video, but suffice it to say, I don't like this world. I mean, it's cool looking, don't get me wrong. I love swamp areas in video games. I don't know what it is. I think it's probably the cool colors or whatever, and just how natural it all feels. But I don't know, there's just something about this particular world that just, it rubs me the wrong way. And I should mention, this is another thing I should mention. The number of Jiggies we get in this area is remarkably low. Like, I'm not kidding, the amount of Jiggies we get is 4. We only get 4 fucking Jiggies here. And this is one of the reasons why. These fucking things. These flibbits. These flibbits do not give you a whole lot of room for error, because they like to get right up on your ass. It's really damn annoying. Although the battle music's pretty good. I do like that the boss music is usually a more aggressive remix of the overworld theme It's pretty cool. Especially this little part right here. I like it. And that's the difference, because I can actually hear the music now, and holy crap, it's so good. Yeah, as you can tell. I didn't go back for that one. I either did go back for it, or I didn't. I think after I died, I unlocked the ability to use those waiting boots, which I feel so stupid that I didn't leave that in, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal that I didn't shut up bottles. It's not really that big of a deal that I didn't show it. Basically, all Bottles does is say, hey, by the way, you can use these boots. And that's it. This part right here is pretty embarrassing. Like, I feel so dumb that I didn't figure out how to attack the fourth part. So what you're supposed to do here is, once you get to the fourth stage of this nesting egg here, you're actually supposed to do the big dash move, which you activate by pressing Z and B, or in my case, back L and B. However, I spent like a good 2 or so minutes just trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do because I completely forgot how to do the move. So yeah, this right here, I have to show just how stupid this gets, because I legit was so frustrated trying to figure out what I was doing here. Like, what am I doing wrong? And then I looked at a guide, I'm like, what the fuck? Did I really forget that move was a thing? But then again, you don't use the move very often, so can you blame me for forgetting that you could actually dash into an enemy by pressing the duck button and B? I certainly don't. It's fucking stupid, man. Anyway. The last thing I did there before the cut was actually try to shoot the thing, but of course that didn't work. Because why would you use an egg against an egg? That doesn't really make sense. Also, we got an Ega Bogum. Alright. Well, anyway. So, how are y'all doing today? Oh god, these things again. It is currently the 17th of June 2022. From my understanding, Amori actually launches on Switch today, which is really cool. I'm actually going to go check the Switch store and see if it's there. For some reason, they actually didn't have it there, like for pre-order or anything, which is kind of weird considering how popular Amori is. But, yeah. That just means that the Amori Let's Play is now possible. And you may be asking, why the hell do you want to do Amori on Switch? It really is just one reason, and that's the use of my Pro Controller. Because for whatever reason, I have a lot of problems with my PC controller. And considering all the issues I've been having with OBS recently, do you really blame me for wanting to do it on Switch? Anyway, this mission right here is actually not that bad, and to be honest, I feel kind of stupid for not remembering where to go. Because what you're supposed to do with the third one, there's a little hut village that also houses a Jiggy there. But you're supposed to climb the village and shoot the stupid little crocodile, but I don't do it because, you know, I'm stupid. But then again, this is technically the first time I've ever played Bubblegloop Swamp, so you gotta forgive me for my own stupidity. Anyway. Yeah, this is the little crocodile hut that I was mentioning earlier. I forget if it's a crocodile hut or an alligator hut, but anyway. Remember that guy? I think whenever I was recording the video, I actually just called that thing Sparks from Spyro the Dragon because it kind of reminded me of him. But that's actually the same dragonfly you see at the opening of Banjo-Kazooie, which I found very interesting, very, very fascinating. Anyway, I don't know why I did that. I have a backflip move. I think probably by this point, I was ready to be done, and my brain was just like, I want to go to bed. was either my brain or my body. Well, technically both, but... yeah, so I was just ready to go to sleep because reasons. And then I found out, fuck, I wasn't recording my audio. But I actually took that as an opportunity to go further than I normally would. And by the way, I should mention that this recording session was actually over 40 minutes long, which honestly, that's about normal, but I have this fly that's annoying the fuck out of me. But yeah, it was, I think, about nearly 46 minutes long, and I cut a lot out of the video. Like, most of it was just needless backtracking or whatever, but yeah. Also, I completely forgot that I had that move. And yes, this music is still funny. I love this theme, it's just so dumb. It's like one of the strangest invulnerability themes I've ever heard. Although the one thing I do like about Banjo-Kazooie is that it technically could go on forever if you continuously pick up the golden feathers. So you are actually, like, the invulnerability is completely at the mercy of the player's skill, which I like that. Very interesting. Now we have more weird music. Which, by the way, yes, this is on the soundtrack, by the way, and I have listened to it, and it's fucking hilarious just listening to this at work, just like, what is this? Although, one thing I find pretty interesting is that there actually isn't an alternate version of Bubblegloop Swamp's theme, aside from the battle variation. I'm having a sip of Baja Mango. It's pretty good. Fuck, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. What was I talking about? In, like, episode 6, me forgetting shit? And that being irritating? Oh, God, here's this fucking timer thing that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, I find it interesting that there's not an alternate version of Bubblegloop Swamps other than the battle version. Which is very different, to be honest, because most of the game actually has an alternate water version and an underground version of the same theme. Like whenever you're indoors or if you're underwater, the theme actually changes. Bubblegloop Swamp doesn't have that. There's just one song for the area, and honestly, I'm perfectly fine with that. It makes it easier to find on the soundtrack. I don't have to guess, like, oh, which one is it? Sorry, I'm having to take a breath. Yeah. Treasure Trove Cove, for example, is a track that I really only like the complete version of the song. Like the song that, or the version that has like all the instruments and stuff, it's kind of like Dire Docks in that respect, like the song. Where I really only like maybe one version of the song, but the soundtrack for some reason includes all versions of the song. But anyway. You need to get out of here, you stupid dragonfly. Go back to Spyro the Dragon. I can't believe how often I'm referencing Spyro the Dragon in this fucking LP. Like, I'm serious. Like, it surprises me how often I'm referencing Spyro the Dragon. Probably because it's like, it's a fantasy world with anthropomorphic animals as the protagonists. There's magic involved in it, etc., etc., etc. So, there you go. You also have the ability of flight. And an Ego Bogum. Now that's exclusive to Banjo-Kazooie in its sequels. But yeah, so, very fascinating. Just how many comparisons you can make to the two games. Because, if I remember correctly, didn't Spyro the Dragon come out in 1998? It was either 1998 or 1996, I'm not really sure, but... No, I think it was 98. I'm not really sure, but... I know that the later games... games 2 and 3 actually came out relatively close to each other. But anyway, this part right here is pretty embarrassing because I completely forgot what button transforms me, and turns out it's the B button. You hold the B button while you're on the thingamajig, and he takes your tokens, and Ooga Booga! Now I'm a gator. Yay! Wow, what an asshole. Although, here's something I find very interesting that I noticed during editing. If you look at Mumbo Jumbo's head there, it doesn't look like it's his head. It instead looks like a mask that he wears. Even though I know for a fact that it is, in fact, his head, caused by Gruntilda herself. But from the model standpoint, it doesn't look like his head. It looks like a mask. It's very weird, and that bothers me. Also, this golden feather bothers me. So yeah, anyway. If you notice from, like, this is something I wanted to bring up earlier. If you notice from episode 6 onwards, I have a background for the Banjo-Kazooie episodes. Yeah, funny thing about that, I actually figured it out by accident, to be honest. Like, I legitimately didn't know how to do the background thing, because I wanted to do that for, like, Super Mario 64, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work. Turns out all that you do, at least in Bobby's case, is that you lay down the picture that you want to use as the background, and then crop the 4x3 image. And once you hit apply, that's when it actually will layer the video on top of the picture. It actually is a really neat little thing that I can't believe it took me that long to figure it out. But then again, I haven't had to really use it because most of my videos are 16:9. But anyway, this minigame right here is a fucking pain in the ass. I think I spent like maybe 5 or 6 minutes on this minigame, but I couldn't exactly figure out what I was doing wrong. Again, I think it's a combination of, like, this was the first time I was doing the minigame. Excuse me, I got burps all of a sudden. But it was also the fact that Mr. Vile is fast, like, really damn fast. He seems to be able to beat you to whatever thing that you need to do. Also, I'm being stupid here. I couldn't figure out the hitbox on the mouth. It's really dumb. But yeah, so Mr. Vile is pretty damn fast. And it's kind of random where the Yummerly things are gonna appear. So, can you blame me for sucking at this minigame? So whenever we do go back to live commentary or whatever, I'm actually gonna skip this mission until after we've beaten, or at least until after we've gotten the Zoom shoes from Freeze Easy Peak. Just simply because I just don't foresee me being able to do this minigame properly. Also, yes, if you lose the minigame, he takes a bite out of you. It's pretty annoying. And actually, the funniest thing happened. Like, he managed to actually sneak up on me at some point, and he actually killed me, and I walked out with 6 bars of life, which I thought was really fucking strange. Like, I don't know if it was a glitch or something, but hey, it worked to my advantage, so there you go. Yeah, so the point of this minigame, I think, is to get as many of those Yummerly things as possible before Mr. Vile does. As long as you have at least one more than he does by the time the time limit runs out, you win. The trick, however, is steering Banjo and actually finding a good spot for all these Yummerlies, because even though I'm doing pretty well right now, this is not as easy as it looks. It's actually pretty damn tough. And I fuck up during the second phase because he manages to get more than I do. And notice that I'm about to beat him by just a margin. Like, I only beat him by 4 there. And from my understanding, that's pretty normal. But anyway. This part of the minigame, you have to dodge the yellow ones, and you can only eat the red ones. This is what got me, because the yellow ones get in the way and really fuck up your progress. And it seems like the AI knows better where those stupid red ones are than you do, so... Yeah, I'm pretty sure he ate a yellow one there. That was pretty funny. The third minigame, from my understanding, you basically eat... you rotate between eating the red ones and eating the yellow ones. So, there you go. Honestly, I wish that the third one was the second one and that this one was the third one, because this one, in my opinion, is the hardest of the three. But then again, I didn't even get to play the third one, so what do I know? And I just barely lost that, by the way. Losing, by the way, to Mr. Vile is either getting lower than him or being even with him. You can't actually tie and redo the minigame. Instead, you have to get it perfect the first time, which I think is really damn stupid. So, yeah, like I said, I am going to attempt that at some other point. But one benefit of your awesome crocodile form, or alligator form, whatever, your bite radius actually is able to destroy these things in one hit. Yeah, fuck you, get out of here. Feel that pain. And yeah, because you do so much damage to these things, you actually get 2 to 3 honeycombs at a time. That's fucking sweet. Cannot argue with that. Also, is it just me or do those things look like honeybees? I guess that's why they fart out freaking honeycomb, isn't it? Yeah, get out of here, you bitch. Give me your jiggy. Alrighty. I had to be quiet because, yes, for the record, I did do that on purpose, just because I actually was able to hear the jingle. And because he doesn't do a dance, yeah. Anyway. This cut right here actually did have a purpose. The reason was that because I was in alligator form and I realized that I couldn't make those jumps to get to the village, I essentially screwed myself out of a number of the jiggies. So instead, I went ahead and grabbed the Jinjos, who were oddly easier this time around than than Clanker's Cavern and fucking Treasure Trove Cove. Which, I find that really strange. It's like, why is it that Bubblegloop Swamp made it easier to find the Jinjos than it was in the previous 2 worlds, which were supposedly easier? I don't understand this. But anyway. Unlike your weird little tick form, or whatever that is, you are actually able to take your alligator form outside of the world to a far distance. And actually, you need it in order to get into this area. However, I stupidly forgot to bust it open within the previous episodes before going to Bubblegloop Swamp, so I can't do anything here. I don't know why I didn't think to use the Talon Trot to get up there, which, by the way, Gator Banjo is capable of the same thing as the Talon Trot. But yeah, I don't know. I feel so dumb for not busting that thing open, which I think it stays open even if you leave the area, but I don't know. It doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, so that was just my little experience here in Banjo Episode 8. Next time on Banjo-Kazooie Blind, we'll be back to live commentary. So, yeah, I will see you guys on the flippy side as Banjo-Kazooie. So, until then, I have been CoreCat13, that woman with the deep voice, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye!